Okay, so let's look at problem 9 from yesterday's study guide on chapter 1. It says, use an algebraic equation to solve the problem. Well, what algebraic equation will we need? Well, let's see. A rectangle is 5 times as long as it is wide. So we've got a rectangle. So we've got length and width. And they say the length is 5 times as long as it is wide. So length equals 5w. Then they say the perimeter is 110 centimeters. So we know the perimeter equals 110 centimeters. Find the dimensions of the rectangle. So they want to know what is the length and what's the width. Round to the nearest tenth if necessary. That's 1 decimal place. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is decide, well, what algebraic equation are we going to use to solve this? And it has to be perimeter, right? Because we know the perimeter is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. So this is what we're supposed to use to solve this. So let's continue. And the first thing we want to do is use that perimeter. Okay, and we know that the perimeter is 110 centimeters, so we're going to replace that for P. And we know our length is 5w, so we're going to substitute 5w for length. Now let's just solve for our width. So we have 10w plus 2w equals 110. Combine your like terms and we get 12w equals 110. And when we divide each side by 12, we get w equals 110 twelfths, or let's simplify it to 55 sixths. And 6 goes into 55 9 times with 1 sixth left over. And this is round to the nearest tenth, so let's turn this into a decimal. So 1/6 is here, let's look. Clear. 1 divided by 6, and this is how you get your fractions. So it's 1.666666. So let's do that. So it goes on, but to round to the nearest tenth, it means we're going 1 decimal place. You look at the next place value, decide, is this greater than 5? 5 or greater. If it is, we round that 10th place up, and 6 is greater than 5, so we're going to round it up to 2. So we've got our width is equal to 9.2. Okay. Now our length, they said, from our algebraic equation was 5 times the width. And this is what was in the key, and this is what I taught yesterday, but let me show you what happens. So when we do the length, we get 5 times the width, which we determined was 9.2. Okay, look what happens when I multiply 9.2 times 5. 9.2 times 5. And as in the key, it comes out to 46. Now, that's what I gave you in class, and then as I looked closer after a parent sent a note today and said they were confused and worked it out, and I saw immediately we've got a rounding error. And I'm glad and thankful that parent brought that to my attention, because I'm sure many of you had that question like, okay, well, she gave us that answer, it looks like it makes sense, but when I worked it out, I didn't get that, and mine looks right. So let's see what the real answer could be. So, well, this was a real answer, but let's look. When you actually do the math with what perimeter is, we're saying the length is 46 and the width is 9.2. Okay, that means that this is 9.2 and this is 46. So when we add these, we're going to have 46 plus 46. Let's put our tenth in there. Plus 9.2 plus 9.2. And when we add all of these, excuse me, we're going to get 0.4. And then 6 and 6 is 12. 12 and 18 is going to be 30. And then carry the 3. And 8 and 3 is 11. So now we get 110.4. This does not match our perimeter of 110. This is rounding errors. Okay, so when they told us to round up, it creates this rounding error. All right, so just remember, you're going to have a multiple choice test. So all of your answers are in A, B, C, D form. You want to always choose the one that is closest to your answer, okay? And that's just for any problem, okay? Because there's always going to be, they're machines, they're not perfect. There's always going to be an error here and there. I try to catch all those, and I do catch a lot of them, but this is one that fell through the cracks. So I will go out to your test and make sure there's no decimals or anything that a rounding error can occur. Okay, sorry about that. And but for this problem, just understand that there was a rounding error and it would not come out perfect the way that we solved it. And so I will double check your test to make sure there's no decimals on it and that this will not occur on your test. So thank you. Let me know if you have any further questions, and thank you to the parent for bringing that to my attention. And we just go so fast that it just slipped right through the cracks, and I apologize for that. Doesn't happen very often, but you get a piece of candy. It'll be a virtual candy though. Thank you very much and have a great day. Study hard.